Greetings, G-fans! With the recent release of Godzilla Minus One on Netflix, I've compiled some major theories and Easter eggs from the greatest film of 2023. Some are brand new! Spoilers ahead for Godzilla Minus One. You might think that the deep-sea fish appearing just before Godzilla shows up is due to Godzilla's radiation. However, the deep-sea fish was showing up even before Godzilla got more irradiated than Bruce Banner's balls. In the Godzilla Minus One novelization, it is said that the inhabitants of Odo Island would bring Godzilla gifts, and in return he would bring them deep-sea fish. So how was he bringing the deep-sea fish up? The fish would appear because they're getting dragged up in Godzilla's wake. That's why they appear mangled from the decompression. It's also a degree of foreshadowing as to their plan to beat Godzilla at the end using the immense pressure of the deep ocean followed by the decompression of forcing him to the surface. In this scene we see little baby Akiko holding what appears to be a soft toy. However, when we look closely, we see blue, yellow, red, and a little bit of grey. On top of that, this toy appears to be a cat. Or could it be a jaguar? A jet jaguar! The colour scheme, the animal, the pointy design, and the fact that it appears to be protecting Akiko makes me think this is a call out to the Jet Jag himself. At the end of the film, we see a black mark on Noriko's neck, followed by a cutaway to a chunk of Godzilla regenerating in the ocean. Many have speculated that this is radiation sickness. However, it actually suggests a special healing function which also would explain how she survived. After Godzilla's attack on Ginza, the movie specifically mentions shards of Godzilla littering the area. In another scene, we also see pieces of Godzilla's skin falling off right after he uses his atomic breath. Given Noriko's proximity to Godzilla, when she was hit with the shockwave, it's fairly likely that many of these Zilla chips were in the wind. This version of Godzilla shows enhanced cellular regeneration capabilities. If this somehow made its way into Noriko's system, this would explain why she was able to survive such a brutal blow. Speaking at Godzilla Fest in Osaka, Takashi Yamazaki has revealed that these black marks are in fact G-cells. G-cells are a fictional biological component in the Godzilla franchise, representing the cells of Godzilla himself. These cells are often depicted as having extraordinary regenerative and mutagenic properties, which can lead to the creation of new monsters. They first appeared in the 1989 movie Godzilla vs. Biollante, where they're combined with plant cells to create the monster, a hybrid creature with both Godzilla and plant characteristics. In the 1994 Toho movie Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, it's theorized that when Biollante was defeated by Godzilla, its G-cells were exposed to a black hole, leading to the emergence of Space Godzilla. This has rekindled fan theories on Godzilla Minus One's ending, leaving the door open for a Biollante or Space Godzilla follow-up film. In one of the saddest scenes of Godzilla Minus One, we see Shikishima screaming up at a very nonchalant Godzilla. Black rain starts to fall from the sky, which is a very sinister symbol of the black rain which occurred after the bombing of Hiroshima. The ash from the explosion had the effect of seeding the clouds, and as a result the rain, which almost had a consistency of tar, was a combination of ash, radioactive fallout, and water. In many cases, people caught in the rain suffered severe radiation burns as a result. In the same scene, we hear Godzilla's mighty roar. It turns out that the filmmakers used the original 1954 Godzilla movie's roar, played over loudspeakers, and recorded the audio. I would also like to take this moment to pay homage to those reporters who stood upon that rooftop knowing their chances of survival were -1. Their efforts were not in vain, because towards the end of the film, we hear their recordings played underwater as a way to bait Godzilla into the trap. Although this didn't turn out too well either. When Godzilla is powering up to do his atomic breath, we see his spines poking out of his back as they start glowing. These are similar to the nuclear control rods we see in nuclear power plants. The purpose of the control rods is to be inserted into the nuclear reactor to cool it down. Taking the control rods out is a surefire way to cause a meltdown, And this is exactly what's happening when Godzilla unleashes his atomic breath. The original plan to destroy Godzilla in the movie is to use Freon gas to sink him. The way this works is that the bubbles create air around Godzilla so that he is no longer in contact with the water and therefore cannot float, sinking to the bottom of the ocean. This is very similar to the oxygen destroyer in the original 1954 Godzilla film, which eventually defeated Godzilla. That's right, folks. Godzilla's real weakness is bubbles. There are some scenes in Godzilla Minus One which are reminiscent of some Steven Spielberg films, most notably the boat chase scene, where they explode a mine in the mouth of Godzilla. This is just like the ending of Jaws, where the protagonist shoots a pressurized tank which is in the mouth of the shark.
Smile, you son of a bitch!